The Artemis swimming pool, and we had a good group over there. It was a social all the time, and it was something to do, keep you off the streets and keep you out of trouble. And it was a good thing. The swimming pool was a oversized swimming pool. It was 120 feet long by 48 feet wide, and had a high dive, which was about 10 feet high, and then we had a medium platform, which was 3.5, 4 feet high, and then we had a low dive, a springboard that was about.
How deep was it, Bob? How deep was it?
And the deepest end was 10 feet.
10 feet?
And then it diminished to the other end to 1.5 feet. And they had a sanitary rating in the state of Illinois, always in the upper fives. Between 1 and 5, they were always there, meaning it was an excellently clean pool and well maintained.
Was that run by the Park District?
No, that was not run by the Park District. It was run by Mr. and Mrs. Clausen. They built it, and that was their enterprise.
So let's see, the skating rink, is that in the same place today?
The skating rink's in the same place. It had burnt down once.
Okay.
And had been rebuilt. And the swimming pool, they just eliminated it.
Was that on the other side of Indian Trail? Or was it right next to it?
No, it was south of the roller rink.
Okay.
The swimming pool, south and east of the roller rink.
What would it cost you to go to the roller rink and the swimming pool? Say you got a pass for the swimming pool. What would it cost you? Remember?
Well, I forget what the yearly passes were, but I think it was maximum of 15 to 25 cents, something such as that, in those days. And they used to have the concession stand at the swimming pool. Ma Clausen ran that, and they used to have the McHenry ice cream factory used to make the ice cream, and I've never tasted ice cream like that in my life again. The kind of ice cream they used to make, it was so rich.
It was like homemade, huh?
Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah, man.
And you'd get a cone there with a great big scoop, like almost the size of a league baseball. I think it was for a nickel, and she'd always put a scoop and a half on there. So you always had plenty of Clark bars and Baby Ruth and Butterfingers were all the great big long bars, and they used to cost you a nickel.
So Butterfingers was still back around in the 30s, huh?
Oh yeah.
So when you were caddying over there at the Shorewood Country Club there, was it a country club?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you said you made more money than your uncles did working in Chicago.
Yeah.
So what would you make, as a caddy there?
Well, I'd make upwards of anywhere between $12 to $15.
Was that
in one day? And
wow.
And my uncles were working for less than 35 cents an hour in Chicago. Oh, you figure it out.
Yeah, you were doing really good.
Yeah.
So that was.
And then that was only one day, and then another day was Wednesdays. I had a doctor who was an obstetrician come from Chicago, and he'd pick me up at home all the time on Wednesday. He says, "Don't you walk up there." He said, "I'm picking you up." He'd pick me up on Wednesday morning about 9:30 in his chauffeur-driven car. He'd take me up there, and he'd insist that we have breakfast. We'd have breakfast, and then we'd go out and play 9 holes. And if he felt inclined to play a couple more, we would do such. And then he'd take me into the clubhouse and demand that I have lunch with him. Then he'd take me home, and he'd pay me $6. Our family lived excellently out here during the summer months. And our whole backyard was nothing but a bunch of brambles called blackberries, and we used to pick them. And the women used to make flat cakes and put the blackberries on them and bake them in the oven and shake the powdered sugar on them. And we had fresh coffee cake for breakfast, which was par excellence. And then very, very nil as far as cost was concerned, but real good for you. So, and then we used to fish. We used to fish both Round Lake and we fished Highland Lake for food, and we would clean anywhere from 50 to 60 bluegills and crappies, whatever we could catch, maybe a bass in between, and feed the big family we had over at the summer house.
What bluegills? How do they run size-wise?
Well, it was anywhere
Compared to
from,
what you see down there now.
anywhere from 6 to 10 inches they were running. They were running some. Well, one year we had a bonanza perch that were running 8 to 10 to 11 inches. And the next year you couldn't find a perch that was over 6.5 or 7. And one year we had a bonanza of bluegills that was 8 to 10 to 11. And the next year, if they were 6 or 7, they were big. Well, Mother Nature chose to do is what she wanted with us as far as fish was concerned. But we had some good bullhead fishing over on Round Lake, 10 and 12 and 14 inch bullheads. And the only tough thing with the bullhead is the cleaning of it and the skinning of it. But if, some of the boys became a little bit expertise at that, and it didn't take them too long. But the bullhead, to me, was always one of the best eating fish there was.